The growing proportion of part-time or casual jobs in the workforce means more Australians face the prospect of underemployment. More than 1 million people want more work but can't find it. And that isn't only bad for them personally, it acts as a handbrake on the whole economy. Michael Atkin reports.
I travel from Campbelltown to Mascot, Sydney Airport, which is about 50 kilometres to travel in for a 4.5-hour shift. Seems like such a hassle for just a 4-hour shift.
Desiree Sheets-Chavola is a cleaner at Sydney Airport. She's a member of the Transport Workers Union, but she only works an average of 26 hours a week, and it's not enough.
I struggle to pay my bills, I struggle to pay my mortgage. I'm constantly having to ask for extra time at work where, you know, they've created like a shark tank for us that we have to fight for any overtime if it's available.
She can't even afford to fix her water heater.
I'm wasting water here. It's dripping everywhere. It's just, you know, we're in water restrictions and it's just pouring out.
Desiree has taken on a second job cleaning this local school, but struggles to make ends meet.
It doesn't just come easy because you're always robbing from Peter to pay Paul, and you're always waiting for that next payday, and it's very stressful.
You only need to work 1 hour a week to be counted as employed by the Australian Bureau of Statistics. Market research company Roy Morgan believes that underestimates how many people are searching for work, so it conducts thousands of face-to-face interviews like this each month.
So how many hours would you say that you would average working part-time?
Average,
yeah.
I would do about 6 to 8 hours a week.
We're underutilising the potential of our people to be doing meaningful work, and that in itself is a bad thing. That holds the economy back. If more people were actually working and working as many hours as they wanted to, they'd have more money to spend.
Roy Morgan has analysed 15 years of research exclusively for 730. Currently, 8.7% of the workforce is underemployed, higher than the ABS's official rate. And it's a growing problem. Almost 1.2 million people were underemployed last year, an increase of almost 450,000 people since 2005.
Part-time jobs are growing at a faster rate than full-time jobs. And clearly, when you have part-time jobs, you have a lot of those people would prefer to have more work.
You're more likely to be underemployed if you're a woman, in your teens or 20s and work in the following industries: recreation and personal, which includes hospitality and fitness workers, retail, and community services, which includes teachers and carers.
Lots and lots of people employed part-time in those areas, more flexible workforce, and therefore much higher levels of underemployment.
I like my job. I work in the retail industry, but getting 3 hours shift sometimes it's kind of upsetting.
17-year-old Ndondi Fikiri is struggling financially because shifts at her Brisbane clothing store can be as short as a few hours. After paying for public transport, it doesn't leave her with much.
And you get 3 hours shifts. That's like barely $50. It's just not enough.
Ndonde means star. She's a refugee from the Congo. Today she's handing out her resume, but she's finding retail work highly competitive.
Any luck?
Not really. Only one of the retailers accepted my resume.
So the job search continues?
It continues, never stops.
We're seeing retailers shut down because they're not able to, in fact, employ people. And I think businesses are confronted with a choice. Do they actually have a small number of people that they employ for long hours? Do they try and share the work around among different people? None of these options are necessarily good.
Underemployment really is a part-time work phenomenon. Hi Ty, how are you?
Jeff, how you going?
Economist Jeff Borland believes the significant shift to part-time work is to blame.
Back in the mid-1960s, for example, only about 10% of jobs were part-time then, and the rate of underemployment was 1%. So, only 1 in 100 workers in the labour force then said that they were underemployed. Nowadays, with part-time employment, is about 1/3 of the labour force.
Jeff Borland believes the problem is likely to get worse.
The signs are that part-time employment will continue to grow. Then if you extrapolate past trends and taking account of the likelihood of some weakening in the Australian economy, it is quite likely that underemployment will continue to rise.
In Sydney's southwest, Desiree is feeling anxious about the future.
It's grim, it's sad to see that that's where this world is going, and that's, we want to make it better, the future. We want people to have full-time jobs, and it's just not going that way.